Wednesday. This is the word for you today. It's Wednesday, November the 20th. It says, you will be rewarded for it. Our scripture passage comes out of Romans chapter 8, verse 18. Paul says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. You know, living here on earth, we all suffer. There's physical suffering, illness, pain, accidents, pain inflicted on us by other people. There's emotional pain, loss of loved ones, loss of dreams or goals. There's spiritual pain when we don't understand why God allows certain things to happen to us or our loved ones. There's social pain where people believe untruths about us, being ostracized by other people, being shunned by people, being put down by people. We encounter a lot of pain here on this. There's a lot of pain in this world. And Paul knew something about pain. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11, he talks about the pain that he's been through. He said he's been flogged more severely, been exposed to death again and again. He says, 5 times I received from the Jews the 40 lashes minus 1. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I spent a night and day in the open sea. I've constantly been on the move. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits, in danger from my own countrymen, in danger from Gentiles, in danger in the city, in danger in the city, in danger in the country, in danger at sea, and in danger from false brothers. He said, I've known hunger and thirst. I've gone without food. I've been cold and naked. Paul knew a lot about suffering. But he stayed faithful. He stayed faithful to God. And why did he stay faithful? Because he knew that there was something much greater coming than what he was going to experience here on earth. Matter of fact, it was so much better that he said, you can't even compare what I've gone through, even with all of that he'd been through. He said, I can't even begin to compare that with how great things are going to be. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2, he talks about a man who was caught up to the third heaven. There were things he could not tell. And God was preparing him for a mission that he had, and that was to write half of the New Testament and to be a spokesman, a messenger for him. What is this glory that it talks about? It says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. What's this glory? Well, some things, it's a new imperishable body. As we get older, parts of our bodies don't work as well and they hurt. And we really long for a time when there was no pain and things worked a lot better. One day, we're going to have a new body. It's going to be imperishable. It'll never grow old. It won't hurt. It'll never malfunction. There'll be no need for doctors or dentists. We'll have a new imperishable body. This glory is an eternal reward from God. Can you imagine getting a present from God? Wow. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what, it'll beat anything we've ever received. There'll be no more sin. You won't even consider sins. There won't be the temptations. No more sin at all. And you'll be with God forever and ever and ever. That's the glory that Paul is talking about. New body, eternal reward from God, no more sin, being with God forever. You know, just as a mother who gives birth to a child, for 9 months, life is uncomfortable or painful. And then comes that time of birth, and I've been told it's incredibly painful, and sure it is. But then they place that newborn baby in her arms, and you know what? She smiles. After all she has been through, she smiles. Why? Because of the result. All of that pain resulted in this precious child. Same way a runner running a race, ready to quit. Lungs are bursting, just ready to absolutely quit. But then they see the finish line and they finish and they go, I made it. I made it. And that's what Paul is talking about. He's saying, keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. Why? Because the end is worth it. Galatians chapter 6, verse 10. Galatians 6:10 says, let us not become weary in doing good, For at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. You will be rewarded. Don't give up. You're going to have suffering? Yes, you're going to have suffering. But if our eyesight, if our focus is on the suffering, it's going to be easy to quit. We've got to keep our eyes on the finish line. Remember Peter when he stepped out of the boat, walking on the water, and it was a storm. It wasn't just all flat and calm. It was stormy. And Peter stayed above water. Why did he stay above water? Because his eyes were on Jesus. When he took his eyes off of Jesus, what happened? He sunk. And folks, for us, when we're going through suffering, we take our eyes off of Jesus, we're going to sink. We're going to be overcome by the suffering that we're going through. Does it make the suffering any easier? No. Suffering is still suffering. But you know what? God gives us the strength and the power and the grace to get through it. There's something coming so much better. So much better. There was a lady that was telling a story about her fork. She said when came time for her funeral and somebody placed a fork in the casket with her, they said, What are you doing that for? Well, she instructed us to do that. They said, why? They said, well, there was a little paper written about why. It says, after the dinners at church, the dinners at home, whatever, they always said, keep your fork. Why? Because the best part's coming, the dessert. Best part's coming for you and me. No matter what we're going through right now, the best part's coming. Our dessert, our heaven. Have a good day.